Coming up next on Coverage You Can Count On.
A tip led Fort Wayne police to a drug raid. We'll tell you where and what they found.
2 victims in separate fatal crashes have been identified. We have an update.
Plus, funeral plans are underway for a veteran who died but has no family. We'll tell you about the funeral home stepping up to put the war hero to rest.
It's all next on News Channel 15 at 6.
You're watching Coverage You Can Count On. This is News Channel 15's News at 6.
Now at 6, quick-thinking employees stopped a would-be armed robbery at a credit union this morning. Good evening, everybody. I'm Brett Thomas.
And I'm Heather Herron. It happened around 11:45 at Public Service Credit Union on Hobson Road. An employee told police she saw a Buick pull up and a passenger with a gun was getting out of the car. She told a coworker to lock the inside door. The masked man came inside the first door, but the lobby door was locked. The employee told police the gunman tripped on the rug and fell down when he turned around to leave. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 436-STOP.
Fort Wayne police found cocaine and a marijuana during a drug raid at a home this morning. The home on Winch Street is now boarded up. That's on Fort Wayne's southeast side. Officers got a search warrant after a tip saying somebody at the home might be selling drugs. Officers found an elaborate surveillance system there, an assault rifle and pistol, along with drugs. The suspect, Antoine Burnett, was pulled over after that raid and arrested. He's charged with dealing cocaine, possession of a handgun without a license, and possession of marijuana.
Police say a Decatur woman tried to sneak drugs into the Newcastle prison. Ann Springer is being charged with trafficking with an inmate. Back in September, authorities at the prison say they saw Springer try to give a package to an inmate she was visiting. Officers took it and found marijuana and what they believed to be Suboxone strips, which help with opioid dependence. Springer was arrested at her home this morning and taken to the Henry County Jail.
A passenger was trapped inside of a car after the driver lost control and crashed into a dumpster this afternoon. This all happened about 1 o'clock at the Town Place Suites Hotel off of Wells Street. The car crashed into a dumpster enclosure and flipped onto its side. Firefighters removed the car's windshield and the passenger was able to get out. He was taken to the hospital as a precaution. The driver suffered a broken left arm and thumb. Happening now, the Allen County Board of Health is holding a news conference in just a few minutes after somebody at a Fort Wayne community school was diagnosed with meningitis. Students at St. Joseph Central Elementary School now have to take preventative antibiotics. Fort Wayne Community Schools leaders sent out a letter to parents and students to tell them about the whole thing today. A clinic will be held at the school tomorrow afternoon so that parents can pick up their child's medication. We have a crew meeting with the Allen County Board of Health right now. For more information, go to WANE.com and join us tonight for Nightcast for a full report.
We now know the identities of 2 men who were killed in separate crashes this weekend. The first one happened on I-469 on Friday. 22-year-old Ian Filipinko of Chicago was pronounced dead at the scene of a multiple vehicle crash. He was the driver of a semi that struck a minivan and another semi. The coroner says the cause of death was blunt force trauma. That second crash happened on Saturday on US 27. 87-year-old Damon Kolkman of Fort Wayne was pronounced dead at the scene. He was T-boned by another vehicle when he pulled out into its path. He was wearing a seatbelt. The cause of death was also ruled blunt force trauma. Filipinko and Kolkman are the 30th and 31st traffic fatalities in Allen County this year.
The driver of a dump truck who was chased by Huntington police last week has been arrested. James Pinkerton is now facing a dozen charges, including resisting law enforcement, operating while intoxicated, possession of a narcotic, and reckless driving. A police officer tried to pull the speeding dump truck over, but the driver just kept on going. A viewer submitted this video using the WANE.com Report It feature. The chase stopped at Dirt Excavating. That's where Pinkerton works. It's also the company that owns the dump truck that he was driving. A funeral home providing services now for a local Vietnam War veteran with no known family. James Beavers will receive a full military funeral and burial on Thursday.
News Channel 15's Angelica Robinson talked with a neighbor who says she knew him well. Angelica joins us in Studio 15 with more.
Well, we don't know much about him other than he served our country. For 3 weeks, the coroner's office had been working to find any known relatives with no luck. We don't even have pictures of him. Today, I talked with one of his neighbors who gives a little more insight into Beavers' private life. James Beavers died November 23rd, just a few days before Thanksgiving. This week, thanks to D.O. McComb and Sons, he will receive a proper burial.
We all make an effort to try to find family members because those are the people that are in charge of the arrangements. And since nobody emerged, we decided to take on doing the funeral service for Mr. Beavers.
Beavers may not have family in Fort Wayne, but this woman says she considered Beavers her best friend. She was too shy to show her face on camera, but wanted to say something about the life of her dear friend.
Jane Beaver, first of all, he never had a family, and you have just me here, and I was his best friend.
She says he was an orphan originally from Marion, Indiana. He was never married and never had children. Beavers was a disabled Vietnam veteran who held the rank of private in the U.S. Army. She's glad the funeral home is stepping up to give him a proper burial.
I think it's beautiful. I think all the people sail on the service, you should have a ceremony for that.
I would encourage as many people to come as possible because this gives a way not only to honor Mr. Beavers, but also other people, POW, MIA people. I think it's a great way to honor them.
The funeral will be held Thursday at D.O. McComb and Sons Lakeside Park Funeral Home. The burial will follow at Riverview Cemetery. All members of the community are encouraged to attend. In Studio 15, Angelica Robinson, News Channel 15.
It feels a whole lot more like spring outside than it does winter. This warm weather is going to be going away for a little while, but coming back.
I know, that's the thing. We got to check in and find out more about that from Hannah Strong. What's the deal here, Hannah?
Well, you guys are right. Today felt more like an April showers brings Mayflowers type day, right? We still have some scattered showers out there that we're watching, especially further south. We're seeing some heavier rain there. Across the Fort Wayne area, not seeing a whole lot in terms of rain, and that story not going to change through the rest of tonight. We've really kind of seen the worst of the rain. Looking live from Parkview Field, you can see the tops of all the buildings downtown, so the cloud cover has kind of lifted a little bit, making for a beautiful night. We saw a beautiful rainbow earlier today. Amber Nelson sent us this picture of the rainbow that some of you probably saw this morning or this afternoon when the sun popped out for just a couple of seconds. It's a really beautiful morning. Now, in terms of temperatures, we're in the upper 40s, right around the 50-degree mark, but the temperatures are about to start changing dramatically. That's the story we're going to be talking about coming up a little later in your full forecast.
Thank you, Hannah. There are only a few days left to get your packages shipped if you want to make sure they will make it in time for Christmas. Today is expected to be the busiest shipping day of the year. The USPS anticipates more than 600 million pieces of mail and packages to be processed today alone. If you don't want to pay extra, you have less than a week to send your packages. People using standard mail need to ship their packages by tomorrow to be guaranteed delivery before Christmas. UPS customers have until Friday to get their gifts under the tree by the 25th.
The Battle of the Badges kicked off today at the Fort Wayne Donor Center. Every year, police officers, firefighters, and emergency personnel host a friendly competition to see which group could generate the most blood donations. This is the 21st year for that event, which runs through December 26th. The American Red Cross says the blood donations are always necessary, and this serves as a reminder that even during the holidays, patients are receiving blood transfusions.
If you think about this being a season of giving, what could be a better gift than the gift of life? You know, one blood donation has the potential to help save up to 3 different lives, and really there's no better gift than that.
The community is also invited to donate blood, and to find out how, visit this story at WANE.com.
There are 39 new graduates of the Allen County Drug Court program. It's the 40th graduating class. The program helps drug users restart their lives. 5 of the graduates are now enrolled in college or vocational training. 4 graduates own their own homes. 19 of the graduates who were unemployed coming into the program now have jobs.
Still to come on News Channel 15 at 6, members of the Auburn Civil Air Patrol spent their Saturday placing wreaths at gravesides of veterans. We'll tell you about this week's Wreaths Across America program when we come back.